This is the Russian join. It's really helpful in Tunisian crochet with adding new yarn to old yarn and no knots and with color changes. So you want kind of a big needle with a large eye but a sharp edge. You want your yarn to fit through the eye, but you also want it to go through the middle of itself pretty well. So that's how you do a Russian join. So right here I am just splitting the yarn and hiding the needle within the yarn itself, and just slowly picking up right from the middle and working my way down. You want a good bit of length because you don't want the yarn to slip and loosen and undo your work. And it's easiest to kind of wiggle the yarn down itself, and to remove some of that bulk, kind of just wiggle the yarn, rubbing it in between your fingers until it's kind of flattened out. Then you want to do the same to the other side. Take your needle and just slowly make your way through the middle of the yarn down on itself. You want to kind of pull the yarn tight on both ends so that the middle kind of really joins together, and then you kind of bring down some of that bulk, and you can pull it to make sure it won't come undone, and then you continue finishing your Tunisian row. I like to leave the long tails until I'm actually done with my row, just so I know for sure that the ends won't come through the front of my work, and it just makes it easier to hide your join. It is kind of hard to wiggle the bulkiness of the yarn through the loops, but once you're done, you shouldn't be able to see your join at all, especially if you're working through your second pass. Then I just snip the ends and kind of just leave a little bit of the ends just to make sure the join won't unravel. And there you go. It's pretty much invisible. You can only see it from the back, and you don't have any weird knots to worry about. I do want to say that if you have to use the Russian join on your forward pass, which is what we call our first picking up of loops in Tunisian crochet, it's not so bad. Here I have the join. Pick it up. I like to leave the ends. You like to leave a bit of length. And just you will have some bulk, but leave a bit of length. Snip your ends, leave a little bit. And just to show you, I am going to come back. Just to show you. So you'll still end up with a little bit of bulk, but as long as you have some length to your join, it won't unravel and it won't poke through the front. And just to show you, I'm going to go through the front because it's going to pull the yarn a little bit. This stitch pulls the front. That's why it curls. There's our first join. And as long as you leave length when you join it, you won't really see it. I mean, it will poke through. Sometimes you can just snip it really carefully. And you won't see it. Even if it shows through, as long as you left length, you just pull it. So right there is where my join was. And you can't really see it. You can feel it. But since I left length when I joined, it shouldn't unravel and it won't poke through. So I'd just like to show you what would happen if you needed to do it that way. And there it is. The last thing I want to say about the Russian join and Tunisian crochet is it's most helpful with color changes like this. If I kept carrying this color all the way back and forth, like I did right here, it would just end up a mess with how much I would be carrying it. And you also don't want to deal with a ton of loose ends with so many color changes, especially if you do more detailed crafts. It just end up a mess. And this has literally saved me days of weaving in ends. So I'm going to use the Russian join to make a color change right here. So here I am, right here. And I need to be right here So I'm going to work to right here, because this is where your black is. This is what we want. So I'm going to take my yarn and do a Russian join, but I'm going to do this. Weave it around. Make sure you have some length. This is really important so you don't end up with it unraveling. And just weave it through. Can't really see the black, but it's just like we did with the other joins. Now it's wrapped around our red. We're just gonna loosen or flatten the bulk. Put it up to where we're gonna be working it. Here's the loose end. Now we're going to bring our red around the color we just joined. Put it in back. Pick up our red and also pick up the black from right here. And we're going to be working around this black strand with the red. And we're going to bring it right here. So here's our red. Go through the loop. Pick up. Pick up. Not this black strand, this one, because this is right here. I'm going to work around it to pick it up. Like that. Lock it in. Here's one stitch right here. Pick up. Now this is locked in and it's carried up over here, and we have our new black right here. So we drop our red, pick up our black, drop our black, wrap it around, pick up our blue. So now our black is locked in, and then we just continue on. So now we have a new black strand joined, so we can pick up our scissors, cut off this end, leave a little bit so it won't unravel. And just to show you, I will come back right now. I'm coming back just to show you. Bring our blue over, lock in the black that we carried, pull through, bring our black over, our red, bring our red over the black, lock it in, pull it. Now we carry our red back. Here's this black that we joined. Bring our red over, bring our black up, pull through. You will have bulk, just like we did over here, but as long as you left enough length, it shouldn't pop through, and it shouldn't loosen. You will have a little nub, but it's better than weaving in a loose end. And since I only worked over 2 stitches, I'm just going to carry my red over. So now, and I'm just going to show you by coming back. Next on the graph, if once we worked all this and we come back here again, here's 3, and here's the new color we joined. So just to show you, I am going to come back. So just pretend that I worked all the way back and now I'm back to where we were. So I'm going to work to our new color change, which is these 3 right here. And I'm going to pick up our newly joined black, bring our red over, and now we've joined a new strand of black, but now with no loose ends to weave in when you're done. It saves a lot of time, literally saves me days of weaving in ends, and the color changes look really nice. There's the new black we joined. I'm really sorry if you're having a hard time seeing it. And it won't come, it won't loosen. Sometimes you get it loosened up like that. So you just take your scissors, and as long as you left some length, it won't unravel. Here's our second color, and you just pick it up. This way, you have less loose ends to work in, or to weave in at the end of your work. And when you're doing huge, detailed blankets, it saves so much time. And I just wanted to share all the things that the Russian join can do for you. See? Here's our 2 blocks. No loose ends. Saves a lot of time. Really worth all the extra little balls of yarn that you would have to work. I'm gonna undo what I did. And I just wanted to share that with you. And this is what it looks like when you join new colors together. Hope this helps. Bye.